He must have done his first Fridays. Al Copeland, the founder of Popeye's Chicken and Biscuits, has a tomb that looks like no other. Vehicles zooming along the interstate can easily see some of Copeland's treasures on public exhibit at the cemetery: speedboats, monster trucks, and sports cars, among other embellishments, and the ornate monument that encases his body. None of these would accompany him now. Yet with 4 marriages and a life clearly lived in the fast lane, his Catholic funeral celebration provoked a lot of gossip. Is that how the church operates? Pay the price and anyone can be saved, some asked. But one woman guessed the truth. He must have done his first Fridays. During our Lord's revelation to Sister Mary Margaret, he said, "In the abundant goodness and mercy of my heart, those devoted to me and receiving Holy Communion on the first Friday of the month for 9 months will not die without receiving the sacraments. My divine heart will be their refuge in the final hour." Whether Mr. Copeland had lived up to this voluntarily or simply as a youth from the Catholic schooling tradition of First Friday Masses for the students, it seems he indeed found that refuge. The Church, the trusted steward and guardian of Christ's treasure, knows what conversion took place in those final moments. Just weeks before Al's funeral, he asked for a trip to Rome, as he put it, to get things right with Jesus. The priest that organized the trip remembers that following a Mass at St. Peter's, the millionaire, his face disfigured from cancer, sat attentively in his wheelchair listening to a woman kneeling beside him. She kept kissing his hand while praying the rosary with him. The priest could not see the woman's face, but Al was evidently moved. Tears were rolling down his face, and the priest knew that Al was getting right with Jesus. Only a week before Lourdes had commemorated the 150th anniversary of the apparitions of the Blessed Virgin Mary to Saint Bernadette, the Holy Father had granted a special plenary indulgence to celebrate the occasion. Al sought a profound spiritual healing, and the priest, aware of the miracles both of the soul and body, suggested a pilgrimage to the famous shrine. Following a brief flight in the Copeland jet, they entered the town of Lourdes. Posters of St. Bernadette were everywhere. "But that's her, isn't it?" asked the millionaire anxiously. "Yes, that's Bernadette, the girl to whom the Blessed Mother appeared to in—" No, that's the woman I was talking with in Rome, right?" Those riding in the car sat silently and dumbfounded. We learned that on that very day, February 18th, France was celebrating the feast of St. Bernadette, which normally falls a week earlier. For those present, the coincidence was just another confirmation of God's closeness during those moments. Following the healing baths, and with time running out before the return to Rome, a determined and visibly moved Al Copeland managed to fulfill the rather complex requirements of Lourdes' plenary indulgence. His death followed only weeks later. Under criticism for allowing Mr. Copeland a Catholic funeral mass, the church officials had only one response. This was not a story of scandal, but of divine mercy. Those bemoaning his funeral, and all who hear the story, might rediscover the source and overwhelming joy of Christian hope, solidly founded upon Christ and his promises and solemnly entrusted to the ministry of the church. Christ's words carry a lifetime guarantee, and God offers it to all who will accept it. It is a fact that many souls live to hear the same awe-inspiring promise extended to them, just as it was granted once to a thief in his final hours. Today, you will be with me in paradise.